I felt like it was a game that we were really never in control of. I felt like, they ran the ball. We didn't do a very good job of running the football, and because of that, I think they kind of controlled the game. We moved the ball at times, but didn't convert on fourth downs, and because of that, we were always kind of playing catch up. And so we have to learn from this. We have to grow from this. We still have a lot of football left, and figure out, get on the film and figure out where, the execution issues were and get them fixed.
All right, we'll open it up with questions. Front row left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch. No, go ahead. Yeah, you're right there is fine.
Okay. Ryan, defensively, their offense seemed to step ahead of you defensively, your defense, especially on those touchdowns, looked almost identical. What was the issue on defense as best you can tell?
I got to figure it out. It looked like they were in some sort of a crack scheme where the guy who's covering the man cracking the linebacker has to replace, and that didn't happen. And I agree with you. It happened too many times and needs to get fixed.
Over here to the right, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Hey, Ryan, any idea yet how severe Josh Proctor is hurt and what the status of Seven Banks is and just how much those absences are still hurting you guys?
So Josh's injury looked not good out in the field. So prayers are with him, and I know it was a tough moment for him to be out there. Obviously praying for the best, but it did not look good when we were on the field.
Over to the left, Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
Ryan, I know there's at least one point in the first half where you were getting on carry a little bit and seemed unhappy coming out of that timeout with too many men. What did you want fixed? What are you unhappy with if you guys have any issues between you and Carey right now?
No. I just think that, when you're in the heat of the battle, we have to get things addressed and fixed, and, that's just kind of how things go. But, I thought at the end they got two good stops for us on offense, and then we didn't do anything with them. So, the offense has got to do their part in this thing as well. And again, I don't think we established the run, and then when the defense did give the offense the ball back, we didn't do anything with it. And we had two opportunities that we didn't score upon. So, there's enough blame to go around here.
Over to the right, Jared Smalley, WCMH.
Ryan, just about the offense, it's hard to complain your quarterback throws for the kind of yardage he did today. You're referring to the run game. Was that more the issue of just trying to get, instead of getting one or two, getting three or four,
right,
trying to keep moving that way?
Yeah, I think it was kind of that way. It seemed a little out of whack today for whatever reason, and then we didn't convert on those fourth downs. And like you said, sometimes when those go for 4 and 5 as opposed to 2 and 3, it makes all the difference in the world, especially in that plus territory. And it didn't today, and it kind of threw us off. And then it was 4th and 2, and I felt like we needed to go for it, and we threw it, and they hit us with a 0 blitz. And if we were running the ball a little bit better, probably would have ran it there, but just didn't feel great at that moment in that spot. So that's something we got to go back on as an offensive staff and get fixed and get addressed, because we want balance, and we don't have balance on the sheet. We have 484 yards passing and 128 yards rushing. That's not balance. And when we're not balanced, we're out of whack.
Over to the left, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, following up about you hit on some of those outside plays where it looked like it was similar stuff defensively. Is that especially problematic when it feels like there's maybe a flaw in what you guys are doing that they are exploiting repeatedly and that, to our eyes, doesn't appear to be getting fixed?
I'm going to go back on the film, and I'll give you an answer here at the beginning of next week and figure out exactly what happened and get the answer for you, because I don't really know, other than the fact that it was it seemed like the same play to me a couple times that they hit us on, and we didn't make adjustments, and so because of that, it was very frustrating.
Just to follow up, Kerry Combs was a beloved assistant coach here. He was not a coordinator. He's back as a coordinator now, and it feels like maybe something's not quite right with that. Austin asked you about it. Like, where are you with the scheme of this defense and Kerry Combs as a coordinator?
Well, I think that everybody on our staff works really, really hard, and we all make decisions together as a group, and ultimately it comes back on me. I'm the head coach, so like I said, we'll go back, we'll watch the film, and then we'll figure out where to go this next week. But again, ultimately it comes back on me because I'm the head coach. So
right next door, Bill Landis, The Athletic.
Ryan, you've said before when you made the switch to coordinators, you said the defense is your vision, but the defense is not necessarily the coordinator's vision. Does it need to change? It feels like the last few teams you have played have found ways to manipulate you guys formationally and kind of use what you do against you. I don't think you feel like now you need to switch that up.
Well, I think anytime you run into that situation, you have to do what you're doing right there, and you ask yourself, is it the personnel, is it the scheme, or is it the coaching? And that's where we got to get back to the film and figure out what that exactly that is. And if it's the scheme, we got to get it fixed. If it's the coaching, we got to do it better. If it's the personnel, we got to make some changes.
Front row middle, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, this is your first time losing a game in regular season as a head coach. How do you regroup from this? How do you keep the team focused and not allow this to derail the rest of your season?
Well, I mean, just go back to work, and you know, I think when you go through adversity, you find out, you know, a lot about your team. You find out a lot about your leadership. And you know, while this hurts, it feels awful. It's unacceptable. You know, the thing you're going to find out is about your team and who the leaders are and who the guys that are with you. Because in times like this, there's a lot of finger pointing that goes on. You know, when things are going well, it's easy to lead. But when things don't go well, that's when you have to show resolve and resilience. And so that's going to be a lesson for our guys in this game right here, or, you know, coming out of this game. And this is not fatal, but certainly hurts. It's unacceptable, and we got to get it fixed.
Second row middle, Patrick Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, you mentioned those fourth downs. You eventually got a couple of them, but how crucial were the fourth down plays to the result?
I thought they were huge. Yeah, I thought they were huge. And, you know, I'll take the blame on that one, you know, fourth down. They came with a zero blitz the first time. And, you know, they came with it the second time. We were ready. We scored on it. But the first time they got us and didn't put CJ in a great situation there. But, you know, but that other one there on the run, you know, we'll have to look and see exactly what happened there. But anytime you don't convert on those fourth downs, it hurts. You know, it's I guess we could have gone for 3, but I felt like it was a back and forth game, and we needed the touchdown. So got to go back to work and do a better job executing.
Right behind him, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Scoop.
Ryan, you know, defenses face two very different offenses. You mentioned your offense needs to be able to hang its hat on something. What does your defense hang its hat on? Can it hang its hat on anything?
No, I think so. I mean, you know, I think that you know, we're still very, very talented, and we still did a lot of good things. We got some good stops, but like you said, it wasn't good enough. I think, you know, in terms of you know, eliminating explosive plays, that's what we want to do with this style of defense. And you know, obviously the big run was big, and there was a couple other ones that popped out that you know, if that's happening, we're not at our best, and we don't have an identity if that's happening. Because, you know, we want to have a 4-down front. We want to get after the quarterback, stop the run, and then certainly have that safety in the middle of the field to you know, avoid big plays. But if that's not happening, then we're not executing the defense properly.
We got time for just a couple more over here to the right. Clay Hall, WSYX.
Might be beating a dead horse here. What was the most glaring thing on defense? Was it no pressure on the quarterback, can't set the edge? Trying to think what it just seemed like so much time and space for them.
I mean, again, I gotta, you know, go back and really, you know, when you come out of a game, sometimes it seems helter-skelter to you. You just remember plays, and there's a lot going on and a lot to process. But I know that, you know, the 3rd and 9 coming out on the 1-yard line, you know, it looked like, you know, somebody had somebody man-to-man. They were in conflict, and that didn't work out. And then that they hit us with the same one for a touchdown later on. And then the perimeter run play where we didn't get the crack, that showed up a couple times. And so, you know, if they hit you with it once, you know, that's not good, but you want to get it fixed. If they hit you with it twice, then there's an issue that needs to be fixed. And so we got to look at that and figure out what that is.
We got time for one more. We've got CJ here. I want to get him in there. Final question, Tim May, Emeritus.
Yeah, is there one play right now, you touched on a bunch of them, that right now, Ryan, if you could call over again, you would, you know? And then I wanted to ask you, the hit on Chris Olave happened right in front of you and stuff. Were you surprised that wasn't reviewed? There was no flag. I mean, what was your view?
I was told it was reviewed, and they made the decision that he turned his head right before, because it did look like that to me. But you know, they saw it upstairs in slow motion. I didn't. One call back. Nah, I probably wish I had a couple back. I probably wish that I had maybe in that last drive tried to run the ball a little bit more. Was probably trying to force the issue a little bit too much downfield, but. You know, I think that was just the way the game was going, and I felt like, you know, we had a pretty good rhythm throwing the ball at the time, and that gave us the best chance. But there'll be a lot of second guessing. There always is after a loss, and so I think if we find that balance, there's less second guessing.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
I'll open it up over to the far left. Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
CJ, obviously there were a lot of problems today, but I don't know if anybody would have predicted the offense would only hit 7 points at halftime, given some of the weapons you have out there. You guys have maybe struggled in the first half getting things clicking. What do you think's not clicking that's kind of taking some time maybe to get to the second half?
To begin the game, I feel like we came out strong, got the ball moving, and it kind of the whole first half, every time we got the ball past the 50-yard line and split the field, we just weren't getting in the end zone. So definitely something that we need to fix execution-wise, because I feel like if we put more points up, we might have won the game. So definitely on my part, I have to be better.
Being aggressive enough in the first half?
Our game plan is always solid. I don't ever question the game plan. Coach Day is a great coach. Coach Wilson's a great coordinator. Coach Corey Dennis, he does a great job. So, whatever plays they put out there, we have to execute them.
Second row, middle, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, how would you assess how you did early on in the game? Did you feel jittery? Did you feel nervous? What was kind of your approach early on?
Yeah, I actually felt really comfortable. I thank God. I even got to play this game. He's been a blessing this week for me. I'll say it like that. I've been through a lot this week, so just being out there felt good. Just get back to football, and I feel like early on in the game I was really comfortable. Being home is way better than being away, and I felt the love in the stadium. So I appreciate Buckeye Nation for that.
CJ over here to the right, Pete Thamel, Yahoo.
CJ, can you just walk us through the interception you threw late in the fourth? It looked like you got flushed out of the pocket and were a little compromised and maybe rushed a little.
Yeah, just rushed it on my part. Definitely should have took a little more time to execute the play. Chris did a great job of executing a scramble drill, and I just have to put it on him. Simple as that. It is what it is.
Second row right, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, you said you went through a lot this week. Was there something beyond the typical game week preparation that you're referring to?
No, just some nicks and bruises just off of Minnesota. Two tough teams that we played, so they both hit hard. So
Way in the back, Spencer, Lettermen Row.
CJ, Ryan said after the Minnesota game that you guys had one more game you can kind of take a breath. How much more difficult is it now to step back and kind of be able to take that breath, but at the same time not worry about trying to press as you guys try to go forward?
Yeah, especially for my part, I just really have to keep being a leader in the room, in the offensive unit and on the team, because Haskell came up after the game and he said something great that the season's not over, and we're not going to press. We're going to stick together. We're not going to point fingers. It starts on my behalf to lead the team as a quarterback. So definitely, I feel like I will do my part to get us back to where we need to be.
Did I miss anyone? Questions? Far left, Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
CJ, I know there were some practices in training camp where they kind of gave you the day off from throwing. You seem to be working on your shoulder a lot, just twirling it around. Is your shoulder okay? Do you feel healthy enough in that?
Yeah, I was healthy enough to play, so that's really all that matters. And my receivers did a great job of creating separation for me today, and I feel like even after I got going, I didn't feel any pain in my shoulder. So definitely, I'll be all right. I'm good.
Right in the middle, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
DJ, you mentioned that as the quarterback, it's on you to make sure this team gets through this. What do you feel like are things you can do to keep this team on track coming out of this loss?
Yeah, just practice has to be better. Definitely on my part, we have to be very precise on everything. Not that it isn't like that, but we can be even better. So on my part, I have to make sure the offense is as sturdy as possible, and we have to be on point with everything.
We're going to take a couple more questions for CJ. Over here to the right, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
It just seemed like there was a connection with Jackson Smith-Njigba that progressed over the course of the game. Did you start to see him more later in the game? Did somebody point out to you that he was getting open early and you were able to take advantage of that later?
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a great receiver. He's somebody I can rely on, just like the rest of the two receivers, and definitely made plays when his number was called. So I appreciate him a lot. He has trusted me. He's really the reason I'm here at Ohio State.
We'll go with one last question for CJ. Joe Geckler from WTUZ.
CJ, you find it hard to get in a rhythm when you have multiple running backs shifting in and out. Last week it was 4 different running backs at Minnesota. Today it's just the 2 with Mayan and Travion. Do you find it hard to get into a rhythm in the offense?
No, I mean we have great backs. I mean they both did a great job today. We weren't. I don't think we were getting some of the holes that we thought we were going to get. But even when they weren't there, we were still pressing the ball and we were landing forward, still getting 2-3 extra yards. And I mean those guys were toting the rock. So I mean they did what we asked them to do. And so I mean kudos to Trey and Mine because I think they did a great job.
Great. CJ, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. God
All right,
bless.
folks, we're going to bring up. We've got to your far right, Thayer and Taraja. Why don't you both come on up and grab a mic? So to your far right, we have Jackson Smith in Jigba. At the middle, Thayer Munford. And to your far left, Taraja Mitchell. We'll open it up far left, Bill Landis, The Athletic.
It seemed like you guys as an offensive line were having a hard time, at least maybe through the first 3 quarters, to get to that second level in the run game, get some linemen, linebackers, which kind of seemed like the recipe for you guys to be successful. What was the challenge? What were they doing up front that was giving you guys some trouble?
It was nothing that we haven't seen before. You know, they basically did the same thing as Clemson did. You know, they blitzing every time they run our linebackers through. You know, it was just like they just came in the gaps harder than we expected. But also at the same time though, like we know that we need to work on it. You know, this week and the weeks right now for everybody, we all know we need to get better. You know, we got this game. Okay, cool. Put it past us and go to the next game.
Over here to the right, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Yeah, for Thayer first, and then Taraja. Thayer, what did you think of the holding call against you? It looked on replay a little slight, whatever. What was just your take on it?
You know, I can't put myself in a bad position. I bid on the inside move, and he didn't go inside. He went outside. I put myself in a horrible situation, of course. But also at the same time, though, when I saw the replay, I was like, okay, that's not holding, of course, but also at the same time, it's like it's against us. Like I'm not really tripping about it at all. You can't really go back on that at all. You know?
What do you guys need to get? What's just on your mind right now about what needs to get straight with this defense? Y'all got flanked on the left side like 3 times in that game, and you would think after the first one things would get straightened out. But just what's your thoughts right now?
First and foremost, defense. We just gotta keep our head up and move forward and get on the film and get better. Like you said, we got outflanked a couple times. There's just communication and the run fits. We gotta be sound on our run fits, crack replace and things like that nature. So we just gotta keep going, keep communicating. Yes.
Over to the first row middle, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, for Thayer, first of all, the difficulty in running the ball, how surprised are you? Because you guys are used to bullying people, and you weren't able to against them.
We just got hit in the mouth, and we try to respond. We responded, got hit in the mouth. We got to keep going, though. It's not like it's a big, we all know it's a big deal if the offensive line doesn't get movement. But also at the same time, though, like, we got to keep going. It doesn't matter who's right there. Just got to maul people off the ball.
Over to the far right, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
You met CJ down in Dallas at Elite 11. That was the first time you got to play with him. I don't know if you guys ever lost down there, but how did maybe you see him kind of bounce back from adversity there that kind of let you know that this guy was ready for a moment like this? He did lose in college. He okay?
Yeah, CJ has a big heart, and he's a competitor. I knew that since I met him, first time I met him. So, he's going to keep going. We're going to keep going. I know he has my back. I have his back. So we're just going to put this behind us and, keep going.
You're building chemistry with him. It seemed like you were open a lot last week, and then early on in this game before you started getting in. I guess how was that going along, building that chemistry with CJ, building that trust?
Right. He was in my ear just staying alive like it's going to come, and coaches, too, they said it was going to come. So, I just, stayed on my path and just try to do the best I can, and a little happened today.
Austin, front row left, Austin Ward, Lettermen Row.
Jackson, is it hard to comprehend that you guys could throw for almost 500 yards and just couldn't quite finish off some of those drives? What was the mood out there when you couldn't punch them in when you needed to?
It was tough, going all the way down there and not getting a touchdown. It's tough. But like I said, we just try to regroup when we got on the sideline and just try to bounce back every drive.
Middle row, front row middle. Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
You're a captain of this defense. How much do you feel like you have a responsibility to make sure you guys bounce back from this the right way and get this thing back on the right track?
I feel like I have a huge responsibility. Guys look up to me, so I just got to do my part of keeping us group, keeping us together, and understand that we have a lot of work to do. But that's something that we're looking forward to, and we're ready to get back to practice tomorrow and fix the mistakes.
Second row left, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Haskell, it's rare to look back at an Ohio State game and see you guys not really getting sacks. What was maybe the issue with getting pressure on their quarterback, and what was kind of going on there?
They're just getting the ball out their hands fast. Nothing really you can do. You just got to close the pocket. They knew, we're known as the Rushmen, so everybody's on notice that they have to get the ball out of their hands fast.
You have any other questions for the guys? Okay, second row left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, again, for Haskell, I mean, how surprised are you that they were able to move the ball the way they did against you guys?
Really, it just came down to we were in place. We just weren't at competitive excellence. When we needed to make a play, we did it. Point blank. Period.
Go to the far right here, Spencer Tomlinson, Lettermen Row.
Roger, this defense, you've been on this defense before that struggled. What can you take from a couple years ago when you guys had struggles on defense and you were on the roster that maybe can translate to trying to fix things right now? What did you learn from those guys from the past when you were young that make you think that you're ready to pound with this defense where it needs to go?
Definitely the mentality. It has to be a want-to playing defense. The scheme is the scheme, but at the end of the day, it has to be a want-to. So just from those former defenses, I would say the mentality, we just got to constantly keep striving to get better. We're going to get there for sure. We just got to have the want to. Everybody got to want to buy in, and we'll get there.
Okay.
No, I see that, but like I said, that's the biggest thing that I took from those former defenses. If there's something that need to be fixed, we got to fix the mentality.
We got time for a couple more questions. Front row middle, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Haskell, CJ said that you said after the game that the season's not over. How do you make sure that you get that message across to the team?
We got a long season. This ain't COVID anymore. Our main objective is still there. We need to get to Indy. It was a non-conference game. We're going to take this as a lesson. We're going to get on the film, and nobody should be hanging their heads low. I told them, hang your heads high. All this is a lesson. You're going to get on the film tomorrow, make the proper corrections. We're going to put it behind us and then go play the next game. It is what it is, and, they did it in 14. We can do it in 2021.
Amen.
Far left, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Scoop.
Taraja, a couple times on the field, looked like you were a little bit frustrated after like a third down when Oregon would pick up the first half. How frustrating was it out there when you guys would have a couple of good downs and then just couldn't get that last one on third down?
I mean, obviously in the game, your emotions are high, and sometimes you can show that frustration. But like I said, we gotta win third down. That's big for us. We went first, second down. We gotta win third down as well. 3 and out, help the offense get the ball back. And that's how you get points on the board. So.
All right, 2 and done over here to the right. Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Raj, I just want to kind of confirm what you said before. You said there was like a lack of communication there defensively. They were winning kind of on the edge on what seemed like a very similar play like multiple times today. So is it the first communication that isn't happening? Is it the communication is happening but it's not getting absorbed? I'm just trying to understand, like from your perspective, what about the communication?
Just post snap communication. Like guys we gotta know that we're playing in a scheme. Guys gotta do their job. That's just the biggest thing that we just gotta work on, like making sure that everybody's doing their 111, and then it all comes together to make.
And right next door, Tim May, Lettermen Row.
Yeah, for Jackson, was there a conversation at all in the second half? Hey, we're on the sideline. Hey, we're going to get you more involved. I mean, were you talking? Hey, nobody's checking me occasionally, whatever. I mean, just how did that all evolve as far as you're concerned? And on that touchdown, obviously they had hit you guys with a blitz up the middle one time, but they left it open. And what was it like, I guess, to have a play like that in a critical situation where you take it to the house?
Yeah, it was CJ and Coach Dan, Coach Harline. They was just telling me to. It's going to come, so, just be ready when it comes, and on that it came, and I just had to make a play, so it felt good.
What was it like to have this many catches in a big game? Obviously, y'all didn't win, but do you feel even more part of the passing offense now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to, it's hard to celebrate my individual accolades for a tough loss like this. So, it feels good, but I want to win, and I'm ready for next week and for the rest of the season.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Folks, I'm going to go downstairs, see if we got any more. So hang here for a minute.
players who can play. And again, to put it on an individual player, I'm not going to do that. And so we're going to, it's early in the season, and this is when you're finding your guys out. It's unfortunate that it's against a very, very challenging team. It's very difficult to come out of training camp and play 70 plays in a game at any particular position. And so, and we have good depth and good talent, and we're trying to get guys and find the right combination of guys all the time.
And are you feeling heat? I mean, how would you describe what you feel right now?
I'm disappointed. That's how I feel. I hate losing. I hate it with a passion. You don't come to Ohio State to get beat. You don't come to Ohio State to get beat in the shoe. And so I'm disappointed.
We got time for a couple more. Far left over there, Austin Moore, Lettermen Row.
Kerry, we all know your resume. You coached at a high level for a really long time. Is there anything about being the coordinator that you found more challenging, or anything like that as you evaluate what you've done in that position?
I would say, once again, that everything that happens on a Saturday that could happen better defensively is going to be my responsibility, and it is my responsibility. So we are actively working every series when we come off the sideline to make adjustments and changes and do that appropriately. And again, that's my responsibility. So it's frustrating when that doesn't get done.
Over here to the far right, Steve Hellwagen, 24/7.
Yeah, just a couple of things on at least a couple of the touchdowns. It looked like the defensive end turned inside and had no vision of the ball carrier coming right by him. And I know you don't want to single out a specific player or anybody, but that just doesn't sound like sound football. I don't know if his assignment is to help inside or what, but I don't know, does there just need to be a better awareness among your players of what they're looking at, I suppose, when it's right in front of them?
Yeah, once again, that's my responsibility to make sure that they see and diagnose the plays and are able to play them with the proper leverage and the proper technique to handle those situations. So I without getting into specifics, that's my job.
Virginia Tech came in here a few years ago and showed Urban's team some defensive looks they hadn't seen before. Was this from Oregon just something that you had guys just weren't ready for? It looked like they spread the football all over the field and had you guys off balance for 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think the amount of plays that were run into the boundary side was something that they probably had not shown a good deal of, and I think that's where we had difficulty. And so but again, we make adjustments on the sideline, we go from there.
We got time for a couple more. Over here, far left, Doug LeMaurice, Cleveland.com.
Kerry, we know this is all collaborative, right? But you're also the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
How much is this defense sort of your vision of how you want to play defense? How much does Ryan, as the head coach, we know he's the head coach, he obviously has input. What's the balance there of how you guys figure out how you're going to attack people?
Well, I think that the defensive structure that has been in place has been a successful one, and one that a lot of folks are really comfortable with. And so I think we have to execute. We have to prepare. We have to do a good job of having our kids in the right places to make the right plays. And so I don't know if that answers your question. It probably doesn't, but I will own all of it.
And final questions, far left, Bill Landis from The Athletic.
Maybe this is a similar question, Kerry, but you basically inherited a scheme. You were hired as a coordinator and then were handed the scheme that was already in place. How comfortable are you in that scheme?
Yeah, I love the scheme. I love the players. And to have the opportunity to be a football coach at Ohio State in this role is a blessing, and I don't take it lightly. And so I can assure you, we will get better.
You've played opponents now, basically in 2 of your last 3 games going to last year, that have seemed to manipulate that defensive structure rather easily. Do you feel like it needs to change moving forward?
I don't think there's any question that we have to do things differently going forward. Obviously, the result today is not acceptable, and so we have to do things differently. Absolutely.
Great, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.